This week on BuzzFeed Unsolved, we discuss the enduring mystery of the Bermuda Triangle. What is it? Is it real? Only one way to find out. Any thoughts going in before?
I love airplanes. I bet there's a lot of airplanes in this one.
Oh, there's a whole lot of airplanes.
Oh,
if you're a fan of
yeah.
airplanes, I got news for you. This is gonna be a great day.
Sign me up.
The Bermuda Triangle is an area of the Atlantic Ocean roughly bounded by Miami, Puerto Rico, and Bermuda. Though its actual range is debated, some estimate it covers between 500,000 to 1 million square miles.
I guess I thought it was further north.
Are you about to beautiful mind this, or I don't know what you're...
Put some graphics over this.
There's a glaze that's come over your eyes. I don't know what's... The term Bermuda Triangle actually didn't come into use until 1964, when it was coined by Vincent Gaddis for a cover story for Argosy magazine. It was used to describe an area where there seemed to be an uncommon amount of disappearances of ships and planes. According to Time magazine, between 1946 and 1991 alone, there were over 100 disappearances of ships and planes in the Bermuda Triangle.
Quick thought. Is it annoying that I hold this pen?
Oh yeah,
like
it's
this?
really annoying.
Well, it's here now, forever. You got your paper. I'm sitting over here just twiddling my thumbs. It's nice to have a little pen.
I think your douche meter is usually at half mast. Right now, it's about 3/4 full.
Through the roof.
Through the roof.
The douche roof. Shane douche roof Madej.
That being said, let's discuss some of the more mysterious incidents in the Bermuda Triangle. Allegedly, the first recorded account was made by none other than Christopher Columbus during his famous journey to discover America.
Oh, he discovered it all right. Just to be fair, fuck Christopher Columbus.
While in the Bermuda Triangle, Columbus, along with crew, noted a variety of odd occurrences. The ship's compass began malfunctioning. There were mysterious lights over the water. The sea was rougher than it had been the entire voyage.
Oh, sea's choppy here. Must be haunted.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
You're saying this ocean's full of ghosts.
I'm saying it was, no, I did not say that. I just said that, what are you taking notes over there?
Yes, sir.
This isn't a debate, or it kind of is. Ryan is an idiot. You proud of yourself? And at one point, he may have even seen a fireball fly through the sky and crash into the sea. Let's jump forward closer to modern times. Keep in mind, all of the events we will discuss were followed by failed rescue attempts. On March 4th, 1918, the USS Cyclops, one of the Navy's largest fuel ships at the time, disappeared somewhere north of Barbados. One of the more chilling details is the fact that the captain never sent out a distress signal, and nobody aboard answered any of the calls from the hundreds of ships that were reportedly in the vicinity, as the USS Cyclops seemingly drifted out of existence. You don't think that's strange? It was in one of the Navy's largest fuel ships. That doesn't just disappear.
Doesn't sink.
I mean, maybe.
The Titanic, she was a mighty one.
I suppose, but there was
She's
also...
lying at the bottom.
But there was also a lot of like, oh, we're drowning, help us kind of thing.
I don't know. Ships sink, you know?
Okay. On December 28th, 1948, a Douglas Dakota DC-3 airplane carrying 26 people disappeared 50 miles from its destination in Florida. After the flight sent out its final radio call to indicate its nearby position, it was never heard from again.
Honestly, this one, these don't do much for me, because...
They don't do much for you.
Planes crash, boats sink.
They literally radioed in, like, I read it was 20 minutes away from the airport.
Yeah, and then a goose flew into the propeller, and they just fucking nosedived.
Into where?
The ocean!
In October 1951, a ship called the Southern Districts disappeared after being seen near the Bermuda Triangle. 4 years later, in 1955, the only piece of evidence in regards to the ship's whereabouts was discovered on the Florida coast, a life preserver, eerily bearing the missing ship's name. On December 22, 1967, a 23-foot cabin cruiser called the Witchcraft, which was built to be virtually unsinkable, disappeared along with its 2 passengers, one of whom was an experienced sailor named Dan Barak. The boat sported a flotation device in the hull that should have allowed part of the Witchcraft to remain afloat, even if the boat was filled with water. About a mile out from Miami Beach, Barak called the Coast Guard after hitting something in the water and requested a tow back to shore. Barak was reportedly calm in the call, nor did he say his boat was sinking. However, when the Coast Guard arrived, Barak, his passenger, and the Witchcraft were nowhere to be found and never seen again. Many wonder how 2 men aboard an unsinkable ship equipped with life jackets, floatable seat cushions, and flares could go missing, let alone the ship itself.
So what are you positing here, that it's in an alternate dimension?
Some of these, they actually sent out parts of the Navy. The whole 9 yards. They sent everyone out. Nothing is found.
I'm gonna need some documentation on this.
Documentation? Look up the stories, I'm just saying.
I'm gonna look them up. What else disappeared?
Just like,
You're seething.
I can't believe you think this is not weird.
I can't believe you don't think that boats sink.
The last and arguably most famous encounter we'll discuss is the story of Flight 19. On December 5th, 1945, 5 military TBM Avenger torpedo bombers departed Fort Lauderdale, Florida at roughly 2:10 p.m. on a routine training mission. Supports say that the planes had been checked before the mission, and the weather was supposed to be favorable. Also significant is the durability of the TBM Avengers they were piloting, which were nicknamed Iron Birds on account of their rugged design and their propensity for holding up in battle. Known as Flight 19, the 5 TBM Avenger airplanes carried 14 men, led by instructor Lieutenant Charles Taylor. Shortly after completing their training mission, Lieutenant Taylor became lost in the area now known as the Bermuda Triangle. Since this was an era before GPS, Taylor and his pilots relied heavily on compasses, both of which were malfunctioning. An emergency transmission sent by one of the pilots was picked up by a control tower.
We can't find west. Everything is wrong. We can't be sure of any direction. Everything looks strange. Even the ocean.
Everything looks strange.
Okay, wait a second here. Hold the phone, sir. Okay, before you said the only thing was missing here was the actual transmission. I just gave you the transmission. You don't think that's strange now?
Certainly, it's a strange case.
About 20 minutes later, the pilot sent Flight 19's last transmission, his voice allegedly distressed. Quote,
We can't make out anything. We think we may be about 225 miles northeast of base. It looks like we're entering white water. We're completely lost.
Several minutes after the last transmission, a PBM Mariner flying boat took off on a rescue mission. That boat would radio the control tower once, before also vanishing.
Choppy out there. Are you bracing yourself?
After a widespread search attempt failed, the Navy's final report of the incident allegedly concludes, quote, "We are not even able to make a good guess as to what happened," end quote. That's the Navy saying that. Not me, that's the fucking Navy saying that.
I gotcha. So the Navy, it's inconclusive.
Now that we've discussed some of the incidents, let's go over some of the theories as to what the Bermuda Triangle actually is. The first theory is that the Bermuda Triangle is not an area of the supernatural, but rather a naturally dangerous place for sailing. Most hurricanes and other tropical storms in the Atlantic pass through the Bermuda Triangle. Storms and unpredictable atmospheric conditions can cause phenomena such as waterspouts, which look like water tornadoes. The Bermuda Triangle also has some of the deepest underwater trenches within it, so wreckage could have potentially fallen far beneath the ocean's surface. Finally, scientific research shows that there is no evidence that disappearances happen more frequently in the Bermuda Triangle than any other part of the ocean.
Uh-oh. Oh no.
That doesn't explain how it's happening in high concentration in the one small area.
High concentration, it's 1 million square miles.
In comparison to the ocean, that's a small area.
All right, yeah, 1 million square miles, tiny.
The second theory is that the Bermuda Triangle is home to a magnetic phenomenon. It's been proven to be a place where true north and magnetic north line up. Some research indicates that this may affect compass readings. Some science also indicates that the lightning during storms may further affect or intensify the magnetic fields, which could account for compass and electrical machinery failures and radio interference. In fact, the rare phenomenon of ball lightning may also form such electrical storms, accounting for the strange lights seen by Columbus and in other Bermuda Triangle accounts.
So this is another one of those cases where, is this all one theory or two?
These are two theories now.
First one seems pretty reasonable. Yep. Second one seems even more reasonable.
So, judging by my patterns of how I present theories,
we're about to enter some choppy territory here.
What do you think is going to happen next? The third theory is that those lost in the Bermuda Triangle are actually now residents of the legendary lost civilization of Atlantis.
No, they're not. Nope.
Now, all the frustration I had in the first half of this is now equally composited on top of you.
Are they breathing underwater?
Atlantis was written about by Plato and was supposedly an ancient naval power, but according to legend, the entire kingdom disappeared into the sea in just one day. In the 1970s, a writer named Charles Berlitz hypothesized that the entire city of Atlantis was actually a victim of the Bermuda Triangle, and now resides and thrives under the sea within the triangle's bounds. Berlitz theorized that the technology and weaponry of Atlantis was so advanced that it continues to contribute to the mysterious sinking of ships and planes. Some believe that which is lost in the Bermuda Triangle continues to exist in Atlantis beneath the sea.
I could see your face and it's just fuming and
Because
getting...
this is absurd.
The fourth theory is that the Bermuda Triangle is actually a gateway to another universe, or in scientific terms, a black hole of sorts.
I think if there were a black hole anywhere near our solar system, everything would cease to exist.
Well, we don't know anything about black holes.
Yes, we know a fair amount about black holes.
I mean, we haven't been able to actually experiment on them or have any quantifiable data.
Black holes aren't unicorns, Ryan.
I mean, it could be, who knows?
I think there's a lot that you don't know.
Some say this would account for the fact that travel times through the region are unpredictable, with some flights getting to their destination faster than usual. In the 1970s, pilot Bruce Gernon testified that he had escaped an incident in the Bermuda Triangle, which he described as an electronic fog. His plane was submerged in a gray haze and his compasses failed. He flew blindly for 3 minutes before his radio informed him he was flying over Miami. When he looked down at his watch, 40 minutes had passed, but he had traveled a distance comparable to 90 minutes of flight.
Have you thought about a black hole that could possibly only be opened up when it's when someone wants it to? Like a cosmic...
Trickster?
Yeah, a cosmic trickster, a cosmic Cheshire cat.
Yeah, okay. I buy that more than I buy Atlantis. Cosmic Cheshire cat. Sure.
Also in the 1970s, an unconventional Canadian scientist, John Hutchison, found in his work that electromagnetic fields could interfere with each other, and when such a phenomenon occurred, astonishing things could happen, including making metals glow, change form, or become disfigured. Some theorized that this effect, appropriately named the Hutchison effect, could conceivably create a wormhole. The fifth and final theory is a classic. The disappearances within the Bermuda Triangle are the result of extraterrestrials. Abduction by aliens would certainly explain sudden and absolute disappearances. Some claim there is a secret US Navy base in the Bahamas linked to aquatic alien activity, referred to as Underwater Area 51.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Tell me about Underwater Area 51.
Oh, that's it. That's it about Area.
That's it?
No, there's nothing else.
Why?
In 2014, at least 2 passengers on a Carnival cruise within the Bermuda Triangle said they saw a UFO fly over them in the middle of the day.
To be fair, not trusting anybody on a Carnival cruise.
What happened to you on a Carnival cruise?
I've never been on one and I will never go on one. I assume they were drunk or high, probably just out of their minds.
I was going to say there's even reported footage, but unfortunately, because of rights, we can't look at the footage. You know what? I could show it to you right now on my phone.
I'd love to see.
How about that? I'll show it to you right now.
This is shopped to high heaven.
What makes you say that?
Just look, I mean, look at it. This is,
Okay.
that is the shittiest footage I've ever, that is so fake.
I forgot.
Just turn that opacity down as it gets into the cloud. Somebody really busted out Windows Movie Maker for that one.
Regardless, whatever may be causing these mysterious events, the Bermuda Triangle is actually a highly traveled region, mostly without incident. But for the curious, the numerous and bizarre disappearances continue to vex them. What could be causing these incidents? Is the Bermuda Triangle a thing of the supernatural? Or is it simply an area with a high concentration of unnerving coincidences? The answer will remain unsolved.
I'm saying you don't know how black holes work. I think
I've got a better understanding than you do, sir.
I actually do understand how they work, how we perceive them, and our scientists perceive them. I'm saying there's other science that we don't know about.
There's other science that we don't know about.
Yes, that's aliens are a perfect example of that.
2017, Ryan Bergara, there's other science that we don't know about.
That makes me sound like Donald Trump.
Well, you're presenting alternative facts, so.
Well, it's an alternative reality.
Let's not get political. I don't know, that's too sad. Let's just talk about ghosts.
Okay.